Hi, I'm Somer Hackley,
And I am Zen Mac, and this is the Art of Search Hiring Manager series.
and these are stories and insights about all things hiring. Zen, so good to see you. It's just us today.
Hello,
Woo!
I know, it's just us.
I
What do you
know.
got for me, Summer?
All right, yes. Whew. So, been thinking about this a lot lately. What would you say is the difference between a good interview question and a really, really, really good interview question?
Oh, how long do we have?
I know, right?
Um,
10 minutes.
Thanks. Um, that's actually a really, really good question because as a hiring manager myself, where I've hired people or right being in the recruiting world and working with other people that are hiring, it's a really big assumption that we make when we interview somebody to say, does this person have the skill set to do what we want them to do? And so I think it's really easy to fall into the trap of asking, have you done X? Yes. Have you done Y? Yes. Have you done Z? Yes. Fantastic. You're hired, right? It's really kind of like well they said yes, no, right? And so for me, I think the difference between a good question and a really, really good question comes from a place of curiosity. And so in this example, have you managed a team of 30 people? Yes. Okay, next question. Right.
Hmm.
Stop right there. I think that alone has three or four levels of curiosity that I would like to dig into, meaning did did you join the company 3 years ago with those 30 people already there? Was it a 5-person team that you grew to 30? Was it a 130-person team that got reorganized to 30? Like I want the story behind that.
Hmm.
And then not just 30, but 30 what? 30 that are separated into different departments, 30 that are separated by hierarchy. Is it managers of individual contributors? Is it directors of managers of individual? How is that set up? What were the responsibilities of these 30-person team? What was the main task? Because I'm pretty sure when you are a manager, your job is not just to manage, but there's a direction and a goal that this team that you're responsible for is heading to. What was that like? And so I think it's as simple as how big is your team is actually not very simple at all when you break it down.
I love that. And I would, yes, and you with, really taking what we understand from the hiring manager and the team as to what they're looking for in this person, and then listening for those answers in the follow-up questions. So, I've had roles where the team is global and they needed
Mm.
someone that had a leadership style where they knew the cultural sensitivities of leading folks in different cultures. Or, someone needs to come in and not just hire the team, but decide who to hire and decide, like, architect the team, right?
Yeah.
So it's really around that evolution, the leadership, like what are we looking for in this person? And then listening for it and asking what did you walk into, where'd you get things to, yada yada. But then also if they didn't say it, if they didn't say the thing, right? If they didn't mention changing their management style for different cultures, just asking directly, hey, question, how do you change your management style if you're leading folks here in the States versus, you said you had teams here and here? Like, how is that different? If they say it wasn't, now we know. Or if they say, well, let me tell you what I did, there's your answer. So really being able
Mm.
to dig, dig, dig. And if you're not getting what you need, just asking it directly. But I first do like being specific enough just to see where
Mm.
they take it on their own before I just ask the whole thing, right, as the initial question. So that's what I would add to that.
I like it. I think we tend to be, oh, let me put it this way. There's probably 30 questions that you want to get
I
through as an
know.
interviewer, right? So it's not just that one question that you can
Yeah.
spend the whole 30, 45-hour meeting with. And so
Hmm.
I think it's practice where you kind of have to, I don't know what's the right phrase for it, but like when you listen for things like, have you done something, a yes or no answer, to just kind of go one more level deeper to say, okay, what is the landscape there? What was the story behind that? Here's a good example. So no names, but we hired a VP of engineering into an organization, and one of the challenges were the engineering team is getting bigger, and instead of everybody reporting into the founder CEO, we needed a leader to step in between. And so one of the challenges were how do you right size the hire because we need somebody to bring in structure into an organization. So one of the screening questions turned into what kind of career ladder have you built for your engineers within the organization? So that was a very direct question aimed at we want someone who's actually implemented a career ladder in their previous company. So that
Yes.
solved the need of the business, which was we needed an engineering leader that could right size the levels of the people that are on the team and grow the team accordingly, but
Mm-hmm.
also speaking to an example where they've actually had to do that previously, and that matched the hire perfectly.
Mm-hmm. I love that so much. And there's such value in asking everyone the same question like that because
Yeah.
now you're comparing real answers, right? It doesn't have to be
Yes.
this gut feeling of, I really got along well with this candidate, so they
I
seem great,
think,
they seem
yeah.
confident, but it's
Yep.
like no, like their answer was a lot more sophisticated to how they did that, you know,
Yeah.
is around like engineer productivity or whatever it may be. Like they really thought about it and they had a great answer and it was articulated well and they've clearly done it 3 times before, different ways, and love it. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I just think versus how big's your team? Moving on. Great.
Exactly.
So, and we've talked about before just having that genuine curiosity and just asking and asking until you understand. But I also feel like um, the more senior I've gotten in recruiting, the more I feel responsible,
Yeah.
like it's this responsibility thing where I'm making a recommendation and they better be a fit. Like if they join, I don't want them to start and people are like, what, they didn't do this thing. Like, oh no. So,
Yeah.
just we can't cover everything in the first call or even through the process, but at least knowing that we have the confidence that we did ask the right questions to match what we feel that journey is that they're going to take this company on. I think it's just so critical.
I, yeah, I could get behind that. One thing we didn't talk about was just on the other side of that call is a human, is the
Yeah.
candidate, is the person that's also sharing their story with you, giving us the privilege of their time, really, right, to tell us what it is that they do. So I feel like if we represent that well and we listen and we're curious and we can tell their
Mm-hmm.
story, I just think we're going to do a better job finding them that next fit too. It's not a, oh, you're a VP of this, they're looking for a VP of this match, right? There's so much story behind that.
Mm,
And it's really easy to gloss over a lot of the story part because you're just looking for yes, no answers. So I think the interview part of this whole exercise, as if I were to be like being somewhat of a critic, is that
mhm,
if we slow down and if we really get those stories, I think we're going to do a better job of matching. I think.
mm-hmm. Yeah. And if it's not this one, something else. And that's
There you
okay.
go.
Yeah. I love that. Well, Zen, this is a great conversation. Thank you again for joining me today. I'm so glad we spoke about this.
Thank you. See you soon.
All right. Bye.
Bye.